Welcome back to the Terry and Jesse Show. Father Charles Murr with us. Father, we're on the edge of our seat. You said the connection between Pope Leo XIV and yourself as a missionary to Mexico. He's a missionary to Peru. Continue, because you got me on the edge of my chair.
Well, all I'm saying is this. To be a foreigner among local clergy,
right?
They belong there. It's their land. It's their church. Mm-hmm. You're coming from outside.
That's true.
Heavily criticized because, and I know it, the first 2 years I was in Mexico, I gave my opinions as you would ask, what do you think of this? No, well, he's a gringo. How could he understand what we go through? He doesn't understand how I finally learned to shut up, to be quiet and start listening to what they had. But I'm going to tell you something. It's not always easy being a foreigner among local clergy.
Makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, not only did he do that and accomplish it quite well, he was named their bishop.
Yeah.
Right? Do you understand what that means?
Yes, that says a lot.
I mean, in other words, the clergy loved him that much.
Yep.
That they accepted him without a problem to be their own bishop.
Yeah, that's
believe me, that's extraordinary. That's extraordinary.
Great.
And I admire him for that because I know what it is.
Yeah, you've been there.
Father Murr, the Pope Leo XIV, both of the missionaries, both Americans and missionaries in foreign countries, much like somebody else by the name of
Archbishop Lefebvre?
Archbishop Lefebvre was a missionary in Africa.
Yes,
He's American, missionary in Africa for many years.
Yep.
But a well-formed theologian.
Oh, yeah.
And he also had that same experience. He wasn't involved in American politics or Roman politics. He was a missionary in Africa. I think he started inserting himself into the fray after the Second Vatican Council, when he saw that they wanted to abrogate the Latin Mass. So, I mean, there's something beautiful about an American priest, like Marcel Lefebvre, Father Murr, Cardinal Prevost, Pope Leo. Americans in their core, but they go to these third world countries, and I think it purifies them because they're able to see the other part of the church that most of us will never see.
Go ahead.
When I was a student in Rome, I asked to borrow somebody's car. Mm-hmm. The rector of the Mexican college, I asked him to borrow his car for something, and he said, "Here are the keys.
Okay.
Remember, don't drive like an American. Drive like an Italian, or you'll have an accident if you drive like an American in 10 seconds."
Wow.
He said, go with what is.
Go with the flow.
When a missionary goes somewhere, you have to go along with the current that's there.
Yeah.
You have to do that. What I'm just amazed at is that they made him bishop, and he accepted it, and he was able to get along perfectly well with the local clergy. Believe me, that is extraordinary. Archbishop Lefebvre, who, pardon my correction, but a Frenchman.
Yes.
Okay.
No, but a foreigner, still a foreigner in that whole situation. Lefebvre's whole mission was to create a local clergy who could become bishops, their own bishops. This was the whole idea, right?
Yep.
So that eventually the missionaries would leave, and you've got a formed clergy. That is a very delicate thing, because there's a superiority, inferiority complexes that are always going on. The Europeans know best, or they don't know best. They don't understand. You've got a lot of conflicts like this. To get along in those situations is very difficult, very delicate. Lefebvre did it beautifully, and our new Pope did it beautifully also.
But from what I gather from reading about his life, he just wanted to serve. That was his big thing. So would you agree, Father Murr and Jess, that
refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's refreshing to hear it from someone like that. Because you hear these guys that they want to.
So it's interesting you say that, because I've read in several places where Cardinal Parolin and Cardinal Tagle were arguing back and forth about who should be Pope. And apparently this turned off a lot of the cardinals that were the conclave, seeing these two guys jockeying for power and why I should become Pope. No, this is why I should be Pope. So Tagle and Perlin were having open discussions, according to several people who have written about this, and this really turned off the other cardinals that were watching them go at it.
Yeah, that's interesting. That comment. I hope that was that's interesting. That's all I'll say. Yeah, Father, what about the idea of this Pope Leo the 14th? Why he said it in talking to the cardinals, but is it significant for us today that he would call upon someone 125 years ago, Pope Leo? Do you think that? Give us your take on why you think, because he's told us the reason he took the Pope Leo, but were you impressed with that name from history?
I'm in sixth grade. In sixth grade, we opened up, and the first encyclical we looked at as sixth graders was Rerum Novarum.
I believe it.
On new things.
Wow.
On new things. And it was written by Pope Leo the 13th.
Incredible.
And the nuns that we had
Yeah.
were Sisters of St. Casimir. They were fantastic order. One of the greatest things they did for us is put the fear of God in us.
That helps.
And the fear of communism.
Good.
Because they came from communist countries.
Oh, yeah.
So they had all of these stories about what communism really was. And I remember the good sister that we had comparing what Pope Leo was saying about the Industrial Revolution.
Yes.
And about justice. This is the first time we're talking about social justice in a Christian light.
Yeah, I bet.
How it was different from what the communists were providing.
Yeah.
And that's the way we looked at it. Well, that our new pope would take the name Leo, and he said it himself.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence is the next battle to be done.
Yeah.
There are many battles. He wants to bring the idea of the new things on new things and put a Christian perspective. Now, one other thing, if I may add to this.
Add to it, please.
He's going to become very unpopular very soon.
Yeah. Well, you know what I said yesterday, Father?
Yes.
I said, I want a pope that's hated by the world. And I got to think that we have a lot of worldliness inside the church. They're not going to like him if he just centers his life and the church on Jesus Christ and not on an environment or other crazy things. So I would agree. I hope we need, well, Jesse, you made the suggestion. Why don't you, for those who didn't hear you yesterday, Our Father, a Hail Mary, and a Glory be for the Holy Father's pontificate. I think if we can all,
I think that's a good action item for all the lay people. Yeah. Every single day during his pontificate, make sure that we're praying one Our Father, one Hail Mary, one Glory be for the pontificate of Pope Leo the 14th. If every lay person does that, 1.4 billion lay people, we're going to be storming heaven for prayers on his behalf, and it's going to bear good fruit. If you got every lay Catholic that's serious about their faith, lifting up the Pope and saying these three prayers every single day, nothing but good can come out of it.